Hey, how you going? SteveBarker from Raw Leadership, jumping on to share with you yet another insight from my new book, Redefining Leadership, 101 Audacious Tips for the Leaders of Today. Now, this book is a standalone book. You can pick it up and you can just read through it and read the tips and go and try them. Or perhaps you've got a specific problem in your team and you are looking for an insight to be able to move around that. You can look it up in the index and see if I've written about it. I hope that I have. There's 101 different tips in this book. So this is the tip that I'm focusing on today. It comes from the well-being chapter and it's called the 3-2-1 step to reflection. Now, as leaders, we want to be green and growing, but even more than this, we want our team to be green and growing. We want our business to be green and growing. We want our community to be green and growing. And one of the things I've used a lot in my own personal business, in my own personal life, in my professional life, is a strategy called the 3-2-1 principle to be able to reflect on what's gone well, what's not gone so well, and how can I improve. This is how I find the one percenters. I often refer to in my coaching, how do we find the one percenters so that we can get better? Well, this is how we can do it. So the principle is that we ask ourselves three things that went well today, or well with the project, or well with the meeting, or well with whatever task it was that we were doing. We always come up with three things that went well. Then we ask ourselves two things that didn't go so well. So we always stay one positive in the bank. This is really important. Never go, oh, only two things went well and three things went wrong, because then we're going to be negative equity. So what we want to be able to do is three things that went well, two things that didn't go so well, and then one thing from those two things, one thing that we can improve upon and that we can act upon as quickly as possible. So whenever I'm doing this, I'm always finding the one thing that I can change, the one thing that hopefully will make things better. And again, I use the 3-2-1 principle to be able to see if that one thing has made things better or whether it's actually made it worse. Because if it's made it worse, stop doing it. Okay. So when we start to look at it, we go three things that went well, two things that didn't go so well, one thing that I can improve or do straight away. Now, to give you an example, I jumped on a meeting on a Zoom call today, and the link that I had in my calendar wasn't the right link, which then sent me scrambling because I was going to be late for the meeting. And personally, I hate being late for things. So I was scrambling to find the link. Then afterwards, I was like, right, okay, I need to go back into my calendar and update the link. So this is the three things that went well. I went to the meeting. I was able to attend the meeting. I wasn't too late. Yeah. Two things that didn't go so well. Well, the link in my calendar was wrong. So that made me feel flustered and a little bit under pressure when I first entered the meeting. One thing that I can improve, I can go back, I can update the link, make sure that next time that recurring meeting has the right link in it. That's a very simple thing, but it means that in the future, I'm going to be able to go to those meetings, click on the link, know that it works. If I am in a bit of a hurry, I might be running a little bit late. I know in the back of my mind that it's going to work. I'm not as stressed when I arrive in the meeting. These are the things that we can do. Now, you can do this with any size of project, a huge, massive project. We used to use this process when we were in the military, to be able to quickly have a hot wash up. What three things went well? Two things didn't go so well. One thing that we can improve. That way we start to constantly improve and grow. This is where we get that phrase, you're either green and growing or you are ripe and rotting. We don't want to be ripe and rotting. Nobody wants to be around anything that's ripe and rotting. We just want to be around new things, green and growing, stuff that's going to help us improve. So we find the one percenters. Now, when you look at it, if you were to improve, if you use this 3-2-1 principle every day of your life for a whole year and you found one thing that you could improve, by the end of the year, not including compounding interest, because I'm not very good at maths, but you will be 365% better if it worked every time. Let's say it doesn't work every time, but 2 times out of 3 it does. You'll be 200% better just by finding one thing every day that you can start to improve. This is how we use the 3-2-1 principle in being able to reflect and to be able to make life easier. Look, this is what these tips are all about. They're all about making life easier. So if you want a copy of my book, get yourself onto Amazon, look it up, Redefining Leadership. It was an Amazon #1 bestseller. I hope that it serves you well, and I'll be back again very, very soon with more tips from this book explained so that you can go away and implement them. All right, my name's Steve. I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Take care. Toodaloo.